Welcome back to another video. We're gonna take a look at Shape Sculptor in CATIA V5. So this will be a follow-up from my previous videos. We are gonna check paint curve over here. So you can find that underneath creation. If I will click on the paint curve, we're gonna see on the bottom left of the screen, we're gonna have the tooltip. So as you can see, we can draw curves on polygonal mesh. We can hold down the control key to close the loop or double click to end. If you want additional information, you can press Shift F1. Afterwards, click on that. And we're going to see that the same information will be positioned over here. We also have that we can pick points on the mesh or drag the mouse to paint a curve. If you also have access to the online documentation, you can click over here on more info and that will open that. So it is called online documentation, but actually it will be an offline local documentation for CATIA. Now for the case study, I have the bunny over here. As we can see, this has also been created as a mesh. If I will select the paint curve, we're going to see that this tool palette will also appear. And over here, we have the possibility to display additional parameters within the advanced dialog controls, which is over here. I can have that, for example, disabled. And by default, we're going to have the fit option position over here. If I will uncheck this, now when I will draw curves on the mesh, I will actually draw lines. Let's take a look at how that will work. For example, I will start over here from the head of that bunny. Now I press double click by mistake. Let me just redo that, because double click will just close that loop. So I will just press the mouse once. I also need to change my my mouse because the left click is a little bit buggy and sometimes it will just do a double click. Now, if you want to close over here, you can hold down Control key, afterwards do a single click, and that will automatically close the loop. And as we can see, we have that 3D curve position onto the mesh, but as you can see, this is quite edgy, so it's not smooth. If you want to have this smooth, you can enable fit option over here. You can also play around with the degree over here, but usually with 5 and the tolerance of 0.01, you're gonna have those. You see how I draw the line over here, but as soon as that is being, let's say, positioned, it will also smooth it out according to the degree of fitting. And again, I can go and do a similar profile like previously. And at the end, I will hold down Control and have that position. So we see that difference. When we didn't have fit, we saw how those points were positioned on that surface. And over here with the fitting, we're gonna see how those will be arched, as we can see. So keep that in mind. Depending on the specification, you may wanna use the fit or not. Now we have the bunny over here as a mesh, but this also works for simple STLs that are not converted to a mesh. Usually CATIA has that, so the STL and the mesh are differently within the product tree. Let me just create within Blender. I will go for a mesh and I could create a monkey. I will press Ctrl 2 in order to have this smoothed out. And I will export Suzanne. So export as an STL. I will call this monkey. I will also go over here, selection only. This will only take Suzanne from Blender. And within this workbench, let me quickly add that Suzanne over here. So we have the monkey. I will scale it by 1. And we see by 1 that monkey will be quite small. So I will increase this to 10. I will just delete the first monkey. And we have the monkey head position over here. We see the rabbit standing on the monkey head. You see the difference over here. So this is a mesh. You can process this within Digital Shape Editor and have this one, which is an STL, converted to a mesh. But keep in mind that the paint curve will work the same regardless of those, because actually both of those models will have the same structure. we see that the mesh of the bunny is triangular, so we have a wide variety of vertices connected by triangles, and the same will be over here for the monkey. The level of subdivision for the monkey is a little bit smaller. As we can see, the mesh on the bunny is much more dense, but we can just do that within Blender. If I will select, go over here to the modify, have this increase to a different level, for example level 3, and now if I will have this re-exported, this will have a denser mesh over here. We can also have this applied, and that will automatically position that. So we see how this is much denser. And if I want to further subdivide, I can do another Ctrl 2 and I can have that reapplied, and this will be quite refined now. If I will check over here the statistics, I will see that the number of triangles over here is already up to 1 million. So this will be quite heavy for CATIA. Okay, so let's also go over here. And I want to rotate the head of the monkey and position the bunny over there. So to do that, within Shape Sculptor, within the same part, you can have multiple meshes over here. You can just select the mesh. You can right click over here, have this snap automatically to selected object. Afterwards, I will click on the monkey head. And now if I will do a rotation, for example, 90 degrees over here, we're going to see how only that mesh will be rotated. If you want to do a translation, you can do the same over here. And if you want to go to specific coordinates, you can edit this. For example, we have over here the increments for translation, over here for rotation, and I know that I want to go with this on the vertical axis, 50 millimeters. I can just press that, and we're going to see that 50 millimeters in this case will be quite large. So the stem for bunny is quite small in this case. Let me add this minus 40 and go on this direction. And if I will move it over here, we're gonna have that bunny position on the monkey head. And again, the paint curve will work the same. You just need to specify the exact mesh that you wanna paint curve. So in this case, on the monkey, I can select the monkey, and afterwards I can start drawing that. So we see how we can easily do that. Okay, so I hope that you find this video useful. I will position a similar video on the left side. This will go to the CATIA V5 tips and tricks playlist at the top. So there are over 110 videos over there. I highly encourage you to check that. And if you consider to like this kind of content, please consider to subscribe. I will position a subscribe button over here on the right. So that's it. Thanks for watching.